don't know about you, but maybe the more interesting prediction to make for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix this weekend is how big will Red Bull's winning margin be? World champions Red Bull have looked in excellent form in Jeddah today through practice, and Aston Martin again seem to be their closest challengers. Ferrari and Mercedes look even further adrift than they did in Bahrain, which is worrying for any kind of title fight. But with all that said, here are my predictions for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Let's start with pole position. I'm going to go for Max Verstappen. It's the boring choice. He's in great form. He's got a good car. He's good around Jeddah. He's good pretty much everywhere, let's be honest, whether you like him or loathe him. The guy is very good at driving racing cars very fast, and, maybe he really will put it on pole position this time, because he was beaten to pole last year by teammate Sergio Perez, and the year before that, in 2021. He was set for pole position, but he blew it. And race winner is also going to be Max Verstappen. It is a boring choice, but it's not going to be such a simple way there, because there's so much that can happen in this race, as I'm going to get to a little bit later on. And let's be honest, as I said, it's almost a repeat of the reasons why he'll get pole positions as to why he'll win the race. But the dominance that the Red Bull has in race trim seems even bigger than it was in qualifying trim, especially in Bahrain. So if that's anything to go by, Max is going to romp away and perhaps win by 20, 30, 40 seconds. But I'm not quite sure that will happen. Second place, though, will go to Sergio Perez. The Red Bull's just the best package at the moment, and nothing else can really sustain a race run against it. And Alonso's going to try. Hamilton, if he had the machinery, would try. So would Leclerc, but they just don't have the car to match the Red Bull. It's going to be another 1-2 for the team from Milton Keynes. On to third place, the final step on the podium. And this was a little bit more tricky to consider. You've got Fernando Alonso, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. Alpine look pretty good. Maybe Mercedes will find something. But I'm going to go with Fernando Alonso to get his 100th career podium in Jeddah. The guy is in good form. He's just finished second in FP2. He's able to get more out of the Aston Martin than Lance Stroll and get it ahead of the Ferraris and the Mercedes consistently, whereas Lance isn't quite able to do that. Okay, Lance is coming back from injury, but also Fernando is slightly better in terms of his ability. So I'm going to go with Fernando on the podium. But let's not rule out Alpine, because they've finished 4th and 6th. Ocon 4th, Gasly 6th in FP2. And they can have an outside shot for the podium this weekend. But it did seem to me that Ferrari and Mercedes were running higher fuel on their qualifying simulations. So maybe there's more to come from those two teams. And of course, remember, Charles Leclerc has got a 10-place grid drop. Now, as I said about Verstappen maybe not having the most straightforward run to victory, that's because we could get safety cars. A well-timed safety car could turn this race completely upside down. And I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say there's going to be 2 safety car periods in Sunday's race. And let's not also discount the fun that we're going to have watching Charles Leclerc come through the field and see where he ends up if his Ferrari power unit allows him to complete the race, that is. So let's go into some of your predictions, and let's start with Tom Downey. He's given me Sergio Perez takes pole position, but Max Verstappen takes the victory in a repeat of 2022. Of course, Checo took pole last year with a brilliant lap, and then Max Verstappen took the win, although Perez was very much harmed by the timing of the safety car. It came out just after he'd pitted, and then the 2 Ferraris and Verstappen were able to pit behind the safety car. Formula Talk host Sophia Richmond has gone really bold with Fernando Alonso getting pole position and Max Verstappen going on to win the race. So a lot of Max Verstappen to win the race here. My mum has gone for Alonso. She's put her hat on the Spaniard. She's a big Alonso fan, but thanks, Mum, for getting involved. And Jawad of the Hit the Apex podcast, Dr. 46th on Instagram, has said not Charles Leclerc. Not quite the answer I wanted, but also probably not wrong. So, kudos to Jawad there. And George Howson, friend of the show, who's been on before, he's gone for Perez to get pole as well and Verstappen to win. A lot of love here for Perez getting the pole position. He's got a bit of a track record around street circuits, winning in Monaco and Singapore last year, and of course that pole position in Saudi Arabia. So why not? Why not Sergio Perez? Of course, leave your predictions down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a nice big thumbs up for me, subscribe for more Grand Prix content, and thanks very much for watching.